Hi, I'm Kristy Sartain, and this is No Need to Recreate the Wheel, DigCit Lessons Ready to Go, an NCBOLD presentation. The bit.ly to be able to access this is bit.ly/NCBOLD24wheel. There's also a QR code, and that bit.ly is on every slide in case you forget it and want to try to get in later in the presentation. So these first couple slides are the alignment to the new digital learning competencies. You have your educator slide and educational leaders slide. So who am I and why am I up here? Again, my name is Kristy Sartain. I'm a school librarian. I have 11 years of experience and I have been a middle and a high school librarian. I'm also a digital coach at the district and state level as an SLNC coach. I am the NC SLAMA president and I do all the things that school librarians usually are in charge of. So I do have my hands in a lot of pots. So this is our agenda for today. I'm not going to read that to you. You can do that. But this is everything that we're going to cover. So as school librarians know, we usually bear the brunt of teaching digital citizenship to all of the students at our school. Over time, resources come and go, and there are some that are tried and true favorites, but there are some that are a little bit harder to find, but are just as good, if not better, than some of these tried and true favorites. So this is going to be a list of courses that you can take in digital citizenship. So there are some courses that you can take as a teacher to get certification, and there are also a whole bunch of lessons that are ready to go. So all you have to do is download them or assign them to students or just adopt them and teach them yourself. And as a disclaimer, this is a grade 6 through 12 specific session. I do not have many resources that work for K-5, although there might be one or two in here. But because all my experience is secondary, and honestly, it's a lot harder to find secondary digital citizenship lessons, that's what this session focuses on. So the first thing we're going to do in the in-person session is you're going to choose which of these activities you're going to want to do. So if you just want to do it by yourself and you don't want to do it as a group, then you're going to choose the Cybersecurity Nova Lab. And that is this session here. Oh, yes, North Carolina. And this will take you to this website where you can just go on and play the game. Or if you would like to do this with your students, you have the Educator Lab, video intro, and then a little bit about it and why you might want to do it. It doesn't have sound, so that's an individual one. However, if your entire group wants to do one of these, you have options for this Trend Micro. And again, it has an about the game and other information that you might want to share with your students before you get started on it. But this one is a pretty lengthy one. Both of the Trend Micros are fairly lengthy, so just know if you have your students do it, you're going to have to give them an end time. But we're going to do this as a group, and you're going to have about 20 minutes to do it. And there's your countdown. All right, so this is where we're going to start getting into the nitty-gritty part of all of this. So hopefully all these links still work later. I will update this as we go, and as people add resources, I'll update them in the end as well. So make sure you bookmark this presentation so that you'll have access to it. So we're going to start with our tried and true Google. So Google has a digital citizenship and safety course for teachers that will get you certified from Google. However, one thing I want to point out, this was done in August of 2020. So remember 2020, this is in the depths of COVID. Okay, so make sure that you kind of know what you're getting into with this and that it is a little bit dated because we all know digital citizenship needs to be updated pretty quickly. But this is an easy way to get through it. You also have, as Google does, all kinds of options for stuff. The next one that we have is Microsoft. So Microsoft has this teacher certification. It does not take very long. It's really how to teach digital citizenship to today's learners. It does not have a date on it, so bear that in mind when you're going with it, that some things might be dated, but it also might be very up to date. Just depends on what it looks like. The next one is Copyright and Creativity, and I want to point out this one in AASL Best Digital Tool for 2024, and I believe it won last year as well. So Copyright and Creativity is really talking about art and fair use and all of that fun stuff. So this is the professional development course for it. So you can do it through Canvas so you can get a certification. And I'll talk a little bit later about the Copyright and Creativity for students, especially, again, for art students, is a really great resource for that. So you do have the certification for it. You also have other resources of why teach it. This is a digital driven learning. This is done by, I believe it's Kentucky, and you can sign in however you want to for that. It is free for anybody to access, and it is a very lengthy list of digital citizenship options for you. There are lessons for students in there as well, but there are also teacher certification options so that you can go in and get all kinds of certifications for DigCit. And then finally, for the teacher certification part, I just want to point out that ISTE, which we all have free as teachers in North Carolina, has a whole learning library for digital citizenship. And you can go in and choose your audience and figure out if you want to do middle school or high school specifically. But this is updated very frequently. And there are all kinds of courses, but also outside resources that you can do or that you can take, you can read, you can learn about so that you're up to date on digital citizenship. Make sure I got everything in my, yep, okay. So now we're on to student lessons. So for student lessons, we have a lot more of these, and I'm going to take a little bit more time to go through them because there are definitely benefits to some of these more so than others. So again, copyright and creativity. They have a specific high school curriculum, which I love, and they have all of these lessons. And the lesson has the whole lesson plan for it, the video, and everything that you need for it. Also supplemental materials, and if they want to go above and beyond for that. And if you're interested in being an ambassador, there's information here on how to do that. I think they have middle school too, but now I can't remember off the top of my head. I just have the high school one linked. Applied digital skills from Google. This is one of my favorite tools for teaching almost anything tech tool wise. You can go, well, okay, so we'll start with digital citizenship. Okay, so they have these lessons. Oops, let me scroll down a little bit. So they do have, just at the top, 10 digital citizenship specific lessons through Google. These are already done for you. All you have to do is click on one and hit start, and you get a free account with a Google account. And the whole thing is done for students. It's self-paced. So you can assign them to students. You can send them the link. They can track their progress through their course. So it's kind of like the old Google Classroom for that. But this is Google Applied Digital Skills. All of their lessons are the same way. So you assign them to the student works through it. I have found when I teach these that students prefer me to walk them through it. So almost all of these that I've done, I've actually done with the student. So we all watch the video at one time, and then they do the work, and then we go from there so we can talk about it a little bit more. And these are seniors. They much prefer to hash things out and talk about it a little bit more so than working at their own pace. So keep that in mind if you plan to assign these directly to students and have them do it. They may prefer for you to walk through them. And that gives you an opportunity to really tailor it for what you're teaching them at the time. Checkology is through the News Literacy Project, and they are actually closed for July. So they just have some stuff up here. However, they have some fantastic lessons that teach about the First Amendment. So it talks a lot about journalism and things that people need to know when talking about the news. It is a news literacy project. This is just for high school. If you have some very mature 8th graders, maybe you can get that, but this is very much a high school specific tool, and it is free. I was really excited when it went free a couple of years ago for that. But they have several lessons that you can do one, you can do all of them, and it's similar to Google Applied Digital Skills where you can assign them to the student and they can walk through them, or you can take them through as a class. So this resource is called SIFT, and SIFT is a modern replacement for CRAP. If you haven't used CRAP, I do recommend it for no other reason than middle schoolers and really high schoolers too. Love hearing you say CRAP over and over and over. So CRAP for resource evaluation is currency, relevance, authority, and purpose. Currency is how recent is it? Relevance is, does it actually make sense for the paper? Authority, who wrote it? What are their credentials? Are they an expert in it? And then purpose, is it supposed to inform you or persuade you? So what is the purpose of the article? Well, SIFT is taking that a little bit higher. So with SIFT, you have this entire class that you can do, and it's a college course, but it's easily adjustable for high school. I don't know about middle school. Middle school, you might need to stick with CRAP. But the entire class is 2.5 to 3 hours. So you can do it over time with your students. So you should be okay with that. You've got 5 lessons, about 30 minutes a piece for that. But it's a great way to really dig into what resource evaluation is and how to really know what you're finding online. But you make a copy of this course and then you edit it for whatever you're doing. So if you're doing a specific research project with this, then you can go on and customize it for that. Otherwise, you can just take the information and go with it. So PBS has really a lot of digital citizenship stuff, which is great. These lesson plans are already done for you. So you go in, the lesson is there, the video is there, and then you just play it for the students. So some of these are short, and they are like response type things where students watch a video and talk about it, how it can relate. But these are great for like a weekly DigCit lesson if you want to throw that into something. All right, Code High School. Now, code.org, I think some districts really got way too into it and made it everything that they did with computer science. So I know mine did, and every time I said, okay, we're going to do a code.org lesson, the whole class collectively groaned. And, you know, fair, that's fine. So I tried to pick lessons that were fun and probably weren't covered in their computer science class. But Code High School has, although it's coding specific, it does have digital citizenship lessons. Now, there is coding involved in each of these, so students will get a little bit of coding, but they'll also get that DigCit part of it. And again, this is the whole thing. It's got the lesson plan. It has a whole unit. If you want to do the unit as a whole, or if you just want to do one lesson at a time, you can do either of those, and you're just going to assign them to students, and students can work through it. Everfi, I think most of us have used Everfi. It used to be that the school system had to subscribe to it for you to get the lessons, but they are free now. So if you need lessons for anything digital citizenship, Everfi is a great place to go for that. All right, the REMC Digital Citizenship Implementation Toolkit. This was done by the state of Michigan, and I'm just going to scroll through this a little bit so you can see. Now, I'm going to scroll through the whole thing. I want you to see what all they have put together. This is a list of anything you might ever possibly want to know about teaching digital citizenship. And it is, what is it, why you need to do it, very specific pieces of it. So if you're trying to build a whole digital citizenship I don't even know what the word is. It's more than a unit, a curriculum, then you can do that with this information. There is so much here, and it is fantastic. I would love for North Carolina to adopt something like this to make it easier for us school librarians to know what to teach, when to teach it, and how to teach it. That would be fantastic. Next is the Achievery. It's created by AT&T, and this is another lesson plan done for you. So you go in and you tell it what grade you want to do, create a free account, and then you have lessons for any of these things that they offer. So they are, again, free, super easy to implement, and hopefully a little bit entertaining. I haven't used this yet, but if it's AT&T, hopefully it's got a little bit going on for it. And then finally, ISTE has free digital citizenship lessons that it has created. So you have to sign up for it, and then you get the email with all of the lessons that are in it. It has elementary, middle, and high school, and there are only 4 or 5 lessons for each one, but it's something, right? It's a start. And all of these will give you options to be able to put stuff together, to put your own spin on it, and to make sure that you're teaching students what they need to know before they get out of at least high school, right? So again, ISTE, it's free for anybody, but we do have our ISTE accounts so that we can access all the DigCit resources that are available there. And then finally, well, not finally. So I do have an option for you to fill out a form for resources that you use that you would like to share with other people. And then I have the Google Sheet here that other people can see what everyone else has added. So make sure to bookmark this and come back and look at it so you can keep up to date with what people are using. And finally, this is a digital citizenship framework, and I didn't put it in here as a free resource because it's not. Some of the overall loose framework is free. However, for the lessons and for everything else in it, you would have to pay for that. This was done by a former school librarian who said, you know what? there's too much out there. We need to be able to put stuff together that we can actually use in a whole curriculum for that. So that's what she did. So again, you have the framework, so you kind of know what to teach and in what order to teach it. But if you pay for the whole thing, you get the lessons that go along with it. So I want to throw that up here because it is available, but it is not necessarily 100% free. And that's what I have for you. I hope you learned something new today, and I really hope you share resources that you use so that other people will have them available too.